Nikos Rentas here, mentorsapproach.com. Today's video is a motivational one. An old student of mine who is sending me an email asking a little bit about future stuff, but sharing a little bit of a success story going into it. This student was a poor performer when he came into my class, and really was a poor performer in the areas that he didn't even really like doing, but then he shined in other things, and his family was a real big problem with what he was doing. We sat down, worked with a few things over the course of the term with him, and then after that, you saw that mind turning. You saw that success game coming out. It was quite astonishing to see, and now getting this email, it's a proud moment. So here we go. Hi, Nikos. I was an old student of yours, and I wanted to say great job on the work you have done, and also a big thank you. You're welcome. I did read the whole email, so I'm going to read it now. You helped me realize my path through school, and I finished university with honors. That is awesome, dude. I'm super, super happy to hear this. I recently completed my contract with this company, and they did not extend it. I am kind of lost on the next steps. Should I take more school or keep looking for a job? I finished a BA and have been working as an analyst for some corporations. Some guidance would be great. Okay, so you've worked at several jobs, probably co-op and stuff, and then you had a contract right after school, and now you've lost it September. And I'm assuming all this happened in the last 4 months with the loss of the job. But I mean, it's all good. Don't worry about it because you just finished school. It's great news. Great news because your opportunities are there. What do you want to do next? Okay, when we sit down and have these conversations with students and people changing their careers, it's very simple to see what they like. Okay, if they are open to actually looking at the opportunities that exist. But if they're really negative about what's happened to them and what they're going to do about money and blah, 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 what you see is a natural decay and then just applying and finding another job, going into a job they hate and not taking the time to actually appreciate the moment of opportunity. So with what you're going through, I'm going to just jump off with the continue school. It's always a good idea to go back to school. Always. However, you're at that age now because you finished the first books of schooling. Now you're going to go to look for something that you really want to do. And when people go, I'm going to go do my MBA, they just apply for MBA and then they figure out what they want. Like, you want to be specific. If you want to go for, I'm talking about Toronto, Canada area right now. If I was going to be looking at going into something like marketing, okay, I'd probably apply to Tier A and Tier B schools, but I'd probably be looking at the schools that focus on marketing, and then if I want to go for accounting or something like that, it'd probably be in the schools that focus on finance, and you go to an all-around good school, but at the end of the day, an MBA is an MBA, and for me, it's more about the contacts you're going to build. So if you go to that specific school that focuses on that, you're going to meet more people that are around that focus, and that's your goal out of it. And then you have an option to go for a co-op or just do the 1 year or maybe do part-time. Okay, it's always a good idea, but then you do have the designations as well, and you could probably find other designations that could be well suited. Okay, so the opportunity right now, because it is September, can you do anything? I think you could start in a lot of schools in January. I'd be looking at maybe starting something part-time, but your focus should be on finding another job in your field and looking at it from that perspective. So I would sit down, make a list of things I want, and then from that list, figure out where I want to apply. Is it big corporations, smaller corporations, businesses that are 40, 50 people? Okay, maybe startups, and I would look at where can I use my tools and my skill sets in order to get something that I'm going to like. And I would list off everything because you've worked at several corporations now. Is that what you want to do? Is that the direction you want to take, or is it something else? Okay, and then I would apply for the MBA or look at other designations based on what direction you want to go and go for one of those designations. My backstory, I did get into the MBA a while back. It was years ago. I ended up not pursuing the MBA. There was a 1 year program that I liked, and I sat there and I was debating it. And then I did have a big contract by somebody, and he turned to be a great mentor for me. But he was like, "I'll give you the contract, but you need your PMP." And I was like, "What's a PMP?" like I was doing projects and I was like, oh, what's a PMP? Idiot, right? So I went and looked it up, and I went and did my PMP. Said screw it to the MBA. Don't really need it right now. I can come back to it later, okay, if I need it. But right now I need that PMP, and I went and got it. I finished it. I did this awesome contract, and I got my PMP out of it. People look at it and they're like, hey, great, you got a PMP? Awesome. You got another designation under your belt? Awesome. Okay. MBA is great. If you could do it, do it. What I found with MBAs, they're more geared towards that corporate level more than what I was doing with the startups. I do see the functionality now. I would like to go get one day. Do I need it? No. Why? Because I'm employing people that do that work. I know the fundamentals of everything, and when I do need that specialty, I can pay for it, and that's the goal. So for my end, this is how I thought. I'm giving you my example of my thought process, because you need to go through your thought process. I would go get this mind map out and sit down and go through and say, I want this in my life in 2 years, in 5 years, in 10 years. I want to be able to say I'm going to go on vacation and leave for 3-4 weeks. So I'm going to go find a corporation that supports that. I'm going to go find all the needs I need as a person for growth. The other thing is, I remember when I was at Manulife, they had an opportunity there. They would pay for half of the MBA. Okay, they had programs inside to take these other courses where I could move up through the company. Right? You could end up with a company that is willing to pay for it. So why not go jump in, find another corporation to work for, another company to work for, and then make your plans and execute your plans as you go? Because it could be that you just need to be at this company for 6 months, get a 6-month contract, and be like, you know what, I want to be there. Now, in 5 years, 10 years, now I need this. And it could be, you're young. It could be that you just need to get on a plane and fly out to maybe Montreal or Vancouver and get a job somewhere away from here. Maybe go to a company that's international so that you can get one job and then move up. I had a couple buddies, they work in the States now, and they're loving it. They live in LA. They're cruising. Okay, they wake up and they're like, oh, the birds and the sun's out. Hey, how's the winter? And you're sitting there like, oh, I could punch you in the head right now, but you're too far. Okay, the point is, you do things based on what you need. And right now, a good solid job to get you through financially until you figure out exactly what you want to do is the goal. And it might be that you want to sit down and look at what kind of companies you want to work with. And if you have the time, if it's not limited and the money's there that it's not limited, now you can actually pick what corporations you want to work with, make your connections, and move in there. Go on LinkedIn, figure out where people are working, what they're doing, different job titles. And there's some crazy new job titles that you're like, what is that? And you click on it and you're like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. I think I knew somebody was doing that, but they actually made it into a job title now. This is awesome, right? And it's a new career path, okay? And just because you're an analyst doesn't mean you're going to stay an analyst forever. It could be that you could take your tools and your skill sets and move to that area and change your career set, and then be like, you know what, I really loved accounting, so I've been doing all this, I know numbers, I'm going to go do my designation in accounting, and just that. And then you won't need an MBA kind of thing, or you're going to go do your MBA in accounting, okay, and focuses on accounting. So the mentality right now is your growth stage. And you want to feel confident that you're going through the next 2 to 5 years in a growth stage where you're going to execute different things that's going to make you feel great about your future, so that when you do get married and you do have kids, you're going to be able to focus on your career, your life purpose, and you're going to be able to focus on your marriage and your kids to make sure that everybody is happy, that and you're happy. And that is the goal of life, to find your purpose, find what motivates you, and move towards that direction. You can only do that if you keep writing things down and actively pursue knowledge in what you want to do to make sure that it's there. Because if you don't, you're going to be stuck there, and in 10 years, we're going to be talking over the phone and be like, oh man, I don't like what I'm doing. How can you help me? And we're going to have to do this 10 years later, and your wife's going to be like, really? Now you figure out you're going to have your quarter life crisis or your midlife crisis, okay? And if you're there with the midlife or quarter life crisis, let's work on that. It's time to get moving on it and get away from having an actual crash, because I've seen that and it's a heartbreak. Okay, get moving on it. Make those changes. You can make any change you want in life as long as you plan accordingly and you make things work. So, my name is Nikos Rentas. This is mentorsapproach.com. If you like a one-on-one or if you'd like more advice on these topics, please just log in on mentorsapproach.com, book an appointment, and we'll sit down. We'll talk about the scenario situations, what you're going through, future plans, what can we do to elevate you in both, in career, business, life, and how to get that peak performance out of you so that you can be super happy long term. And then you'll actually love the life you want to be at, and you'll keep developing for the future. And it's a beautiful thing to see people go through and get these awesome emails, these thank yous. So again, my name is Nikos Rentas, and this is mentorsapproach.com. Thank you.